Good morning and welcome to Pasadena. My name is Art Schultz, Lieutenant with the Pasadena Police Department. This morning I'm representing Pasadena Police Chief John Perez, who last night was requested by Senator Portantino to testify at the State Assembly today regarding Senate Bill 620. On behalf of Chief Perez, we'd like to welcome all the Los Angeles County Chiefs and supporters to the annual Pink Patch kickoff here at the iconic Rose Bowl Stadium. What better place to recognize the fight against breast cancer than the Rose Bowl Court of Champions, where we recognize winning teams for fighting to overcome challenges, to beat their opponents, and win championships. Today, we are a team focused on fighting and beating breast cancer. Like many of the teams memorialized behind us, they and we depend on key players to rise to the occasion and lead the charge. You will hear from those fighting the disease straight on and from a doctor who is leading the charge in breast cancer research. So as I pass the mic off to Redondo Beach Police Chief Keith Kauffman, we appreciate everyone for being here, and a special thank you to the Rose Bowl for hosting this important event. At this time, I'd like to introduce Chief Kauffman.
Good morning. Welcome to the Rose Bowl Court of Champions. Go Bruins. Did I say that? Hi, my name is Keith Kauffman. I have the honor of serving as the Chief of Police for the city of Redondo Beach, and the additional honor of serving as the president of the Los Angeles County Police of Chiefs Association. The LA County Police of Chiefs Association is a nonprofit benefit corporation consisting of the police chief executives of 45 independent cities in LA County. Our association focuses on advancing the science and art of police administration and crime prevention in LA County, coordinating the implementation of law enforcement efforts by local law enforcement leaders, and developing, teaching, and disseminating professional law enforcement practices. These executives that you see behind me are responsible for meeting the public safety needs of about 10 million residents. Our mission statement is simple. We are law enforcement executives devoted to promoting public safety and interagency cooperation within the LA County region. As an organization, we are proud to support the Pink Patch effort that has grown exponentially nationwide and is now spreading across the oceans to our extended law enforcement families around the world. At this time, I'd like to introduce the City of Vernon Police Chief Anthony Miranda, but before I do, I'd be remiss without mentioning that his leadership and vision has helped transform this idea of the Pink Patch into something that all of us in law enforcement are proud to support. Chief Tony Miranda.
Cindy, come on up. You're good. Sorry. Yeah. Good morning. I'd like to start by thanking the leadership of the Los Angeles County Police Chiefs Association for their leadership and unwavering support. To our police officer associations, to the police officers who are here with us, thank you. To Chief John Perez, who could not be here, a special thanks for helping us organize and plan this day for all the Los Angeles County Chiefs, in addition to securing the banners you see hung on this beautiful Rose Bowl Stadium today. To the members of the Pink Patch Project, and specifically to the department committee members, you are actually the backbone that drives this. Our chiefs are the beneficiaries of all your hard work, and your drive keeps this program, makes it successful. I'd just like to tell you a little bit about the history, and it starts back in 2012, when then Sergeant Steve Bowles had the vision to create pink patches and sells them in the Seal Beach community. They raised about $3,000, and Steve is now commander. Congratulations, and he will be speaking with us shortly. Fast forward to 2015, Irwindale adopts the project, raises $20,000. Following year, 2016, the idea is pitched to the Los Angeles County Police Chiefs. They also adopt the project, and about 22 or 23 agencies initially go in the first year and raise about $218,000. Year two, the project goes to 44 agencies in Los Angeles County. And locally, we raised $325,000, and we get 280 agencies and raise 800 nationally. Last year, the project grows to 330 agencies nationwide and raises locally $350 million and $1.1 million nationally. This year, 2019, the project is now north of 450 agencies nationwide with 2 police departments in Spain. Our beneficiary is the City of Hope, a leader in cancer research treatment in our region. These funds are earmarked for 3 specific things: education, treatment, and research. Participating agencies will wear their patches for the month of October, and many start sales in July. A few agencies have identified beneficiaries within their local jurisdiction. However, the majority will go to the City of Hope. So in time, when you see your patches within your jurisdiction, your community, please buy their T-shirts and swag. I want to send a real special thanks to the Bell Gardens Chief Scott Fairfield and to Southgate Captain Darren Arakawa for running our fair operations, which is a large chunk of our fundraising efforts and a lot of work. So to them, I want to thank them. And to our newest project director from the City of El Segundo Police Department, Amy McDaniels. I know you're out there. Please raise your hand. Amy, thank you. She has very big shoes to fill from our Detective Bureau Sergeant at Irwindale Police Department, Rudy Gatto, who wore his thumbs off in about 3 years with social media 24/7, 365. And for that, Rudy, we are grateful. Where are you, Rudy? All right. Detective Sergeant Rudy Gatto, thank you. At this time, I'll bring back Chief Kauffman.
Now I'd like to introduce cancer fighter and Culver City Sergeant Eden Robinson.
Thank you, Chief Kauffman, Chief Miranda, the Los Angeles County Police Chiefs Association, and the Pink Patch for the invitation to speak this morning. Like at the last kickoff at Quiet Canyon, I'm grateful for this opportunity to share my story in the hopes that it provides another with the courage to fight their fight. Little did I know then that 9 months later I'd be standing up here at the same podium sharing my story about a second cancer battle. Up until last December, my doctors, family, and I all thought I had won the war against breast cancer. Unfortunately, the week before Christmas, 3 swollen lymph nodes derailed my holiday plans to visit with the in-laws. The week quickly became filled with appointments for an ultrasound, biopsy, and an MRI. By that Friday, I was at City of Hope to meet with my medical oncologist, Dr. James Weissman, and was informed that the results of the biopsy were positive for metastatic breast cancer. The news struck at the core of my family's strength. Not only did I have cancer again, but it was 4 days before Christmas. That also meant the offices were closed and the long holiday weekend. The 5-day wait to continue testing and determine the extent of my cancer was agonizing. My husband and I agreed to not tell our daughters until the day after Christmas. We spent Christmas Eve as a family, snowboarding and skiing the slopes of Big Bear, and made dinner at home. My husband and I enjoyed the family time, but moments alone allowed us our thoughts to wander about what next Christmas would be like. Despite my faith that I would beat this cancer again, hopefully this time, once and for all, the fear of the unknown was difficult to overcome, both mentally and emotionally. On December 27th, a PET scan determined 6 lymph nodes in my arm showed signs of active cancer. Thankfully, that was the only place in my body. With those results, treatment would consist of 8 rounds of chemo to start immediately. 1 infusion every other week for 4 months. The first 4 sessions are what some people call the Red Devil, a combination of adriamycin and Cytoxan, to be followed by 4 sessions of Taxol. The remainder of the Christmas week, I was left to begin prepping for the hair loss and the other side effects of chemo. The first few days after the new year, I spent at City of Hope. January 3rd was stacked with chemo training and medical clearance appointments. On the 4th, I underwent an implant surgery for a portocatheter for my chemo infusions. 18 hours later, I began my first treatment. In the days following, I was miserable and unsure of how I could do this 7 more times. After the 4th day, I forced myself out of bed with the determination to meet the challenges before me. After the second chemo, my hair began to fall out in clumps, as was expected. It was MLK weekend, and at the time I was in San Jose with my daughters for their ice hockey tournament. My family hosted an impromptu head shaving party in our hotel room and invited all my daughter's teammates. My intention was to enjoy some fun with the girls that I'd spent so much time with every week during the season, and maybe even let them get back at me a little bit for all the pranks I pull on them. Much to my surprise and enjoyment, they all came and enthusiastically participated. Each of the girls took turns cutting my hair and shaving my head, and it became a moment of team camaraderie. What I didn't expect was what I later learned from the fellow hockey parents. That moment taught their daughters a lesson in strength, courage, and confidence. In February, after 3 chemo infusions, I competed in the 2019 CrossFit Open. My goal at the beginning of the 5-week competition was just to finish each workout by continuously moving from start to finish. After the second week, my goal changed. My goal became to finish in the top half worldwide for my age division. I ended up finishing overall in the 32nd percentile. Five weeks ago, I underwent surgery to remove the malignant lymph nodes in my left arm. And then now I face 28 sessions of radiation to start next week. My family has been instrumental and inspiration, but what I found out was they were trying to survive, just as I was. Their world was like mine, upside down and chaotic. My family has always been my strength and provided me with support, but I could see this second diagnosis was compoundly more difficult. That made getting through it a must. I found that the more active I stayed, the better I responded to treatment and the less helpless they felt. Like my first diagnosis, I have the best case scenario for the worst situation. I'm even more self-confident now than I was 9 months ago when I last stood at this podium. 1 out of 8 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer. Each of your lives, if it hasn't already, will be touched by it by somebody other than me. Quite possibly any of the women in your family. Breast cancer is a deadly disease, but one that can be treated successfully. My success came from an early diagnosis which saved my life not once, but now twice. I encourage each of you to speak with the women in your lives. You never know, it may save theirs. Organizations like the Pink Patch Project raise public awareness to fight against breast cancer and support organizations like City of Hope in their research to combat this devastating disease. It's because of the organization's charitable work that women like me have a fighting chance and are empowered to take control of our health. Thank you all for your participation in the Pink Patch Project.
Thank you, Eden, for having the courage to tell us your story. I'd now like to welcome Seal Beach Commander Steve Bowles.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Steve Bowles. I work with the Seal Beach Police Department. In 2004, I was diagnosed with melanoma. And for those men in the group, especially, it can be a very deadly form of cancer for many of us. At the time of my diagnosis, I have family members that are in the medical field, and I received immediate advocacy. One of the greatest parts about my cancer journey was being able to be treated at such a tremendous cancer facility, which is the UCI Medical Center in Orange. At the time of my diagnosis, my youngest daughter was 4 months old. And like many people who are diagnosed, you go home, and for those of you who don't know, and I hope to God you never experience it, when that doctor comes in and tells you you've got cancer, your world seems to spin, sometimes a bit out of control. Got home, my wife, who's a nurse practitioner, when I look to her and I see that she's crying, then I know I'm in trouble. Go home, everybody goes to bed. I go in, I look at my 4-month-old daughter, and then I go make the worst decision of my life, I go over and I look at WebMD. The worst thing you could ever do when you're facing any type of illness. Shortly thereafter, I began my cancer treatments, and fortunately, I had one reoccurrence since, but I've been cancer-free since 2007. Thank you. One of my greatest strengths during my journey was a friend of mine who's an Orange County firefighter, and they were part of a complex network of a firefighting group, the Firefighter Cancer Support Network, and I realized that there wasn't anything in the law enforcement world outside of the LAPD that had a cancer support organization. So myself and a few other cancer survivors started the National Law Enforcement Cancer Support Foundation. And we're a 501c3 nonprofit that strictly gives support to any officers anywhere in the country that are stricken with an illness. At my organization, I couldn't ask for a better place to work. The best people, the best administration, and my best city staff. I was immediately taken under their wing. My workers' comp doctors were immediately approved, and all my treatments, which is kind of unheard of in this world that we live in. So I was very grateful to the city, and for always will be. A few years later, I was at the station one day looking at the TV. It was a Monday night, saw Monday Night Football playing, and saw these guys wearing pink socks, and told the guys at the station, I go, we should really get some pink patches for next October. Everybody laughed, as typically they would, because no one's going to wear a pink patch. Right? No one will wear a pink patch in law enforcement. And so off we went. I contacted a friend of mine who was at Anaheim PD, named Chris Schneider at 511. Now left Anaheim and went to 511, and 511 donated uniforms to our entire department. Well, at that time we were 32, so it was a little bit manageable to donate 32 uniforms. But that took away the challenge of people buying new uniforms for the department. We had our patches put on, and really off to the races we went. There are a few people I want to recognize this morning who have really taken our patch to the next level, and we are certainly proud of the work that he's done. Dominic Sarabia. Dominic, where are you? Can you? If you don't know Dom, he is the master peddler of all cancer wares. Anything cancer support, Dominic has. So, and Seal Beach's opportunity to be a part of this, we're very grateful. Grateful to Chief Miranda and to all of the chiefs in LA County. This year was a special year for me, myself, and our Seal Beach. There are 4 of us from Seal Beach PD that participated in the Police Unity Tour started off in New Jersey. We rode to Philadelphia, then rode from Philadelphia to Baltimore, then rode from Baltimore into DC. I was grateful to wear my Police Unity Tour jersey with both my regular Seal Beach patch and my Seal Beach Police pink patch, and not just in honor of those who were killed violently in the line of duty, but those who lost their lives due to cancer. And with that, I want to thank you all very much for this opportunity to speak. Thank you to all the chiefs for moving this initiative forward, and I'm very grateful. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. What he failed to mention was he almost took my wife out on the bike ride. Now I'd like everyone to please welcome Dr. Catherine Schultz Costello, a breast surgeon at the City of Hope.
Thank you so much for inviting me here. Good morning. My name is Kat Schultz Costello, and I'm a breast surgeon at City of Hope. City of Hope is a world leader in comprehensive cancer treatment, and I'm so proud to be here today to share our work and share how agencies like yours make a powerful difference in the lives of our patients. Hearing that you have cancer is the scariest moment of a patient's and also their family's life. I know this because I'll never forget the day when my grandmother picked me up from high school instead of my mom. When I got in the car, she told me that everyone's lives were going to be different because earlier that day, my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer. My mom was fortunate enough to beat breast cancer, partly due to a clinical trial for a drug that was experimental at the time. City of Hope remains a national leader in the fight against cancer, and our discoveries drive the latest treatments available nationwide with cancer-fighting drugs like Rituxan, Avastin, and Herceptin, which is the drug that my mom received 18 years ago. We currently have 59 breast and gynecological trials serving over 1,000 patients. City of Hope recently launched a CAR T-cell trial led by Jana Portnow and Dr. Saul Priceman to help women whose breast cancer has spread to their brain. This is a very promising type of immunotherapy where patients' own immune cells called T cells, they're taken out of the body and then they're reprogrammed and put back in the body to go and kill cancer cells. And then Dr. Joan Mortimer from our breast medical oncology department is currently testing a handheld device developed with her and Caltech to help determine insulin resistance caused by chemotherapy. This first-in-class tool could drastically improve the quality of life for women with breast, but also other cancers. From day one, compassion has been woven into the heart and soul of our institution. One of my favorite things about City of Hope is that we bring research to life quickly because we have patients that cannot wait. Now is a critical time for City of Hope as we ramp up the expansion of support across the enterprise to help more patients. Since 2015, you and your agencies have raised over $900,000 for City of Hope through the Pink Patch Project. We are so grateful for that support. Thank you all so much for your commitment to public safety and also to the extraordinary Pink Patch Project. I wish the best of luck for another extremely successful year in raising funds and awareness for the fight against breast cancer. We're all in this fight together, and we can't do it without you. Thank you again.
Thank you, Dr. Schultz Costello. Now for our closing comments, Chief Tony Miranda.
Can we get a big hand for Chief John Perez and his Lieutenant Art Schultz, who made all this possible? Art, thank you very much. We say Chief John Perez, but all the heavy lifting happened right there with that lieutenant. So we are very grateful. And to the volunteers who made this possible, thank you all for your help and support. I'd just like to leave you with a few closing comments. And one is a quote: "Learn from yesterday, live for today, and hope for tomorrow." Albert Einstein. And one final thought before we leave is just imagine a world without cancer. Thank you all, and God bless.